Are you living too fast? When you're constantly caught up in work, your stomach growling because you haven't had a proper meal, your eyes heavy from lack of sleep after countless nights at your desk. Maybe you're racing against time, trying hard to reach that unfinished dream, but your steps are too hurried. You're so busy running that you forget to love yourself. Let's join Why Is That? I wonder for the first episode of this series. Then who will stay with the children in the Black Ocean? Before we begin, dear listeners, please note, this podcast episode may contain heavy emotions, so please consider carefully before deciding to stay and listen. How to kill myself without breaking my mom's heart. Her mom found her search history. She fell into a crisis after many sleepless nights, trying everything to get some rest, even turning to sleeping pills just to grab a few hours of sleep. But her mind was filled with a chaos of negative thoughts. She didn't sleep, more like she was drifting, dreaming of herself lying there, red water soaking into the flowers, and her long hair floating in the stream. Yet, her eyes were dry, no trace of tears. She thought about death a lot. She tried to find joy to forget those negative feelings, but the darkness always seemed to win. She kept herself busy, maintained her hobbies, but every brushstroke, every note of music was tainted with that shadow. The pain wrapped tightly around her body, suffocating her. Then one day, she wanted to end it all. Her grip was firm, eyes tightly shut. Suddenly, the image of a little girl lying there in a daze appeared again. But this time, there were tears falling from her mother's weary face. Her mom had found her search history. Her mom had found out her intent to end her life. Her mom cried a lot and hugged her tightly. "My child, tell me, did I do something wrong? I'm so sorry. Let's go see the doctor together, okay? The doctor will help you heal." Seeing her mother cry, her heart broke. She used to wish she could matter to someone. Then she realized if she truly mattered to someone, then the one hurt the most in the end would be that person. Her thoughts were so contradictory. She wanted to be someone important enough to be held dearly and remembered. Yet at times, she wished they'd forget her or ignore her, because when they reached out to her, even just a little, they would inevitably get hurt too. Is it really necessary to be important to someone? She just wanted to be gently held in someone's heart, that they would think of her when they saw something familiar, that they would remember what she liked, know what she hated, and avoid it for her. Simply that she'd be cared for and wrapped tightly in someone's arms. She craved warmth, yet sometimes wanted to run away when her mind became unstable. She knew she could die at any moment. She feared hugs, yet longed for them so much it drove her mad. Yes, she was scared of being left behind, so she always built up walls, or made her own rules, like never fully relying on anyone no matter how painful it was. Because she knew, once she relied on someone, she would rely on them completely, and when that support disappeared, she would become a corpse drifting in the cold sea, without an island, slowly sinking under the weight of old memories and her own darkness. Then who will stay beside the children of the Black Ocean? Maybe it's the mother, the father, the family, the lover, the friends, the pets, and even strangers who've never met them. But the child still seems to doubt that. Where is the Black Ocean? Try Googling the phrase, Black Ocean, and you won't find any dark sea. So does that mean it doesn't exist? No. The Black Ocean is a deep sea region located in the center of the Atlantic Ocean, also known as the Atlantic Ocean Abyssal Plain. The term Black Ocean isn't an official name and is not used by scientists. This name was given because when people looked at it, they saw utter darkness, coldness, and mystery. The Black Ocean reaches depths of up to 6,000 meters, so no ray of sunlight can penetrate or reach its deepest waters. How is the Black Ocean formed? Let's not get into advanced geography or detailed geological charts about tectonic plates colliding and creating such a harsh environment. This podcast episode will tell you how the Black Ocean of a child was formed. The Black Ocean began with a rain. Not the kind of rain that immediately knocks children down, but a slow, persistent drizzle, day after day, soaking them in fatigue and cold. Then the rain spread over an immense area. The children couldn't see the end of the dark clouds, nor did they know where to run to escape the water. They just walked under umbrellas, sending out cries for help that were never heard. They tried to resist or adapt, until some ran until they collapsed from exhaustion. Some found shelter or an umbrella of their own. Some couldn't wait for the sun and chose an extreme way to escape. Others adapted so well that they no longer wanted to look for sunlight. Year after year, the rain continued to pour, and mixed with the salt of tears, it accumulated until one day, all around the children was a vast stretch of water with not a single ray of light. Some children spent their whole lives in that black ocean. Where does depression come from? From genetics, from traumatic childhood experiences, from toxic family relationships, from a cold society, or all of these combined? For now, the only conclusion is that there's no single cause of depression. It has biological, psychological, and social roots. These factors also interact with each other, making it even harder to pinpoint one clear reason. Who does depression attack? Children, the elderly, teenagers, adults, men and women. How destructive is depression? I don't know. I really don't know how terrifying the pain these children are enduring is. Just like the ocean's deepest floor, thousands of meters down, no one dares to venture there to explore. It seems no one truly understands what the black ocean inside these children is like. What do we know about the world of people with depression? Nothing. But do you really want to know what the world wrapped inside a black ocean looks like? If you Google the term black ocean, you won't find any actual seas. What you'll see are books. I have to admit, I couldn't read this book straight through. I had to break my reading into parts. I felt suffocated and needed long breaks after each chapter. Even the author had to give a warning to readers at the start of part 1. The true stories and real events in this book may feel heavy. Please take care while reading. People don't want to bring more negative emotions upon themselves. On videos about the book on depression posted by Why Is That? I wonder, there are comments saying, if you're mentally okay, please don't choose to read books like these. Negative emotions truly are contagious. Pain lingers more hauntingly than joy of the same intensity, and it doesn't just spread directly from person to person, but also through intermediaries like sound, images, objects, and events through the mirror neuron system. When an emotion is experienced and prolonged by a person, it becomes their own. And at that moment, they've officially been emotionally infected. For example, a story that haunts me from the book I read. The story of Meiji and John. At 21, having grown up witnessing her father constantly beat her mother, Meiji carried deep psychological scars. In 11th grade, the first signs of post-traumatic stress disorder appeared. She withdrew physically and mentally and just wanted to die, but her parents never acknowledged the existence of her illness. They believed she was being dramatic, thinking, we don't fight anymore, so there's no reason for her to be in pain. John was Meiji's boyfriend. They met online. Before getting serious, Meiji warned him about her condition, and John thought he could help. He researched, read documents to mentally prepare himself. 7 months after moving in with Meiji, John became depressed. He attempted suicide, but survived. The terrifying thing is that John, once a normal person, unafraid of crowds, always wanting to share, talk, and connect, especially with Meiji, once someone who understood that living with a person with depression requires a lot of love and knowledge. I didn't feel exhausted. I didn't feel tired. I didn't feel annoyed. I didn't blame her. I knew my girlfriend wasn't okay, and my only concern was how to take better care of the one I love, how to keep her safe, how to make sure she wouldn't end her life. I just felt extremely worried, deeply anxious. I didn't want to lose another friend. I had already lost a close friend in my college group, an accident. The day he passed away shook me. I'm still haunted by it to this day. Back when he was alive, There were times I was indifferent to him. He would text, and I'd be too lazy to reply. Now his image constantly reminds me not to let another friend of mine leave like that. Depression is truly frightening. No child ever wants to drag someone they love into the swamp they're stuck in. Maybe that's why these kids are hesitant, because they're afraid of hurting those around them. After that chapter, I stopped reading. I felt lost. If depression can spread like that, who would dare come close and stay with those kids drowning in that deep, bottomless sea? Later, after reading more documents and watching videos shared by psychological experts, I realized this. Those kids must save themselves. Who will stay by their side in that pitch-black ocean? No one. Nobody wants to stay. Don't misunderstand. No one in a stable state wants to throw themselves into a hopeless swamp. But they will know of that dark place. They will know those kids are in there. And they will come. They won't stay. But they'll try to help both get out. They'll give those kids the necessary tools. Teach them how to swim, how to breathe, a way to save themselves. So how do we help those kids? Let's reconsider John's situation and the story above. The root cause may be that, although he was mentally prepared to face Meiji's illness, he forgot to maintain his own protective energy. Because he focused all his attention on Meiji, John gradually cut off connections with friends. He stopped going out, stopped hanging out, stopped connecting. They just clung to each other. John's parents loved him dearly and were always ready to help, but he never said anything. He was afraid they'd worry. He didn't want to be a financial or emotional burden. Because John cut off those connections, the two of them ended up sinking deeper together into the dark waters. The healing journey for someone with depression takes a long time, and during that time, their negative energy can affect the person supporting them. That supporter may feel stressed, pressured, helpless, angry, afraid, sad, or drained while walking alongside the depressed person. Therefore, it's not just about constantly worrying and being attentive to the depressed person. You need time to relax and maintain your own health to help them in the long run. When your internal energy is depleted, you need to refill it from external sources. Spend time around other positive relationships to balance your spirit and emotion. Doing so helps those with depression feel that they are not a burden, and gradually, they'll begin to open up. Additionally, when helping someone with depression, avoid giving unsolicited advice. That's the job of neurologists and psychologists. So, if you discover someone around you shows signs of depression, encourage them to see a specialist who can offer appropriate treatment methods. There is no alternative solution. Every piece of advice from someone unqualified can become an invisible knife, creating danger for someone struggling with depression. Therefore, guiding them to a doctor is the only right and reasonable option. People with depression are often very good at pretending to be happy. That's why telling them how to be happy is nearly useless. Don't say much. Don't tell them what to do. Those life lessons, they probably understand even more than you do. They just can't do it, that's all. Also, don't be dismissive or invalidate their pain. Phrases like, "Oh, come on, don't be so dramatic. They seem normal to me. Others have it way worse. It'll be fine. Cheer up. Maybe you're just bored and overthinking." Where do such indifferent and dismissive beliefs come from? They stem from a general lack of understanding about depression. People think depression is just a temporary state of sadness or boredom that everyone experiences, and that it will pass if they just try a little. That's why the term depression is often used casually in daily life. We often hear complaints like, "Oh no, it's raining again, can't go out, I'm so depressed," or young people even joking online, "Don't be too happy or you'll get depressed." After this podcast, I hope we'll gain a different perspective on this illness. Choosing to listen, to read, to learn, or to write about depression is never easy. For me, for you, for ordinary people, and for the kids stuck in that dark ocean. But I believe these articles, books, and podcast episodes will gradually shift society's perception of the importance of mental health. Depression is real. It can happen to anyone. It's terrifying to the point that even just thinking about it sends chills down your spine. So, let's hold on to each other during our loneliest moments. Let's love and empathize. so that at the very least we know someone cares. Someone we hope to see each morning. And you too, please open your heart to soothe the pain and receive the care you truly deserve. Ending a life to escape pain has never been the solution one should choose. Instead of romanticizing and glorifying sorrow in an extreme way, we always have a choice to look at life more realistically and recognize the beauty around us, the beauty in every living thing. I hope these books, these podcast episodes can be the companion for you, the fragile child, helping you rise and leave that dark ocean behind the door of your old home. Or maybe they'll help you draw stars that shine brightly around the scars on the arms of the children you're trying so hard to love and protect. Those late sunshine days, we're getting so close to them now. Outro Tom Tense.